All right, welcome. Today we're diving into a really powerful idea for making big changes in your life. It's called the butterfly wing moment. We're going to find out how these tiny actions can lead to some absolutely massive results.
So let me just ask you this straight up. Do you think a single butterfly could actually change your life? Now, I know that sounds kind of like something out of a poem, but the science and the strategy behind this idea are very real. And honestly, it could completely change how you think about getting things done.
You've seen the typical advice a million times, right? It's all about that hustle. Lock yourself away, grind for months, and focus on that one huge goal. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? What we're talking about today is completely different. Instead of just trying to achieve one specific thing, we're going to focus on becoming the kind of person who can achieve any goal. See the shift? It's not about the destination, it's about the journey of change itself.
So let's really get into what this different kind of change is all about. This isn't about just using more willpower or brute force. Nope. It's about understanding a really powerful idea from science and then applying it directly to our own lives. Okay, so this whole thing starts with the butterfly effect. Back in the 1960s, this scientist, Edward Lorenz, he discovered something amazing. He found that in really complex systems, a tiny, almost invisible change, like say, the flap of a butterfly's wings, could eventually trigger a huge event, like a storm halfway across the world.
And this is where we take that cool science idea and bring it right back to you. Think about it for a second. Your life is the massive event. It's not shaped by one giant heroic leap. It's shaped by all of your smallest, seemingly unimportant actions, all added up day after day after day.
So here's the challenge. For the next 3 months, your goal isn't to hit some specific target. It's actually something way deeper. Your goal is simply to become, to build the identity of the person who is capable of doing whatever they set their mind to.
Think of this next phase as sharpening your axe. You know the old saying, right? Before you try to chop down the big tree, that's your goal, you got to spend time making sure your tool is perfectly sharp. This is all about preparation, about building a rock-solid foundation.
So what does sharpening the axe even mean in this context? Well, it all boils down to these 3 core pillars, and they're all equally important: transforming your mindset, committing to constant learning, and deliberately, consciously building your confidence.
All right, first up, mindset. And listen, this is not just about thinking positive thoughts. This is about re-engineering your internal operating system from the absolute ground up, starting with the smallest possible unit.
Look at how this works. Think of it like a pyramid. At the very top, you have your overall mindset. That's built on your ideology, how you make decisions. That's built on your patterns of thinking. And what are those patterns made of? Just a bunch of individual thoughts. So, here's the magic trick. If you want to change the whole thing, you have to start at the bottom, with one single thought.
And this is the technique. It's all about being actively aware. So when your alarm goes off in the morning and that thought pops in your head, just 5 more minutes, that's the moment. You have to catch it, recognize it, and then consciously change it. Choose to get up. When you start controlling these tiny little moments, you start to control your bigger patterns, and pretty soon, you've changed your entire mindset.
Okay, pillar number 2 of your transformation is learning. This is all about just embracing your curiosity and grabbing new knowledge, even if you can't see how you're going to use it right away. You're basically just collecting dots that you'll connect later on.
The perfect example of this is Steve Jobs. Years before Apple was even a thing, he randomly took a calligraphy course. Why? Just because he thought it was beautiful and interesting. It seemed totally useless at the time, but fast forward a decade, and that useless knowledge became the secret weapon that made the Mac and the iPhone so beautiful and easy to use. It's an amazing story, but it happens all the time. Think about it.
And that's the big lesson here, isn't it? You just have to trust that the dots are going to connect down the road. So for these next 3 months, just learn. Learn about anything that sparks your interest. History, coding, how to bake bread, whatever. You have all the world's knowledge at your fingertips. Go build an arsenal of ideas. You'll be surprised how they combine in your future.
All right, finally, let's talk about that third pillar, confidence. Real, solid, unshakable confidence. It doesn't come from likes on social media or buying expensive stuff. It comes from the deep internal respect you get when you are actively working on yourself.
You know, confidence is a skill, and you can totally practice it. Start by just watching people who seem confident. It's not just what they say, right? It's how they carry themselves. They tend to have a deeper voice. They make purposeful eye contact.
Their gestures are deliberate. They use pauses to make a point. The key thing here is that these aren't just personality traits, they are skills you can learn. And when you practice them, you're not faking it. You're actually signaling to your own brain that you're in control, and that's what builds that real inner confidence.
So here is a super simple but incredibly powerful exercise you can start literally today. Pick any topic you're into and record yourself talking about it for just 1 to 5 minutes, every single day. You don't have to show it to anyone. Just listen back to it. Check out your tone, your speed, your clarity. Find one little thing to work on and then do it again the next day. This isn't about becoming a perfect public speaker. It's about the act of showing up for yourself day after day. That process, that is the engine of self-respect and true confidence.
So, when you put this all together, the mindset, the learning, the confidence, you're not just going to achieve a goal. You will literally become a new person. And that, well, that brings us to a choice you have to make right now.
You have 2 paths in front of you. Path A is the default setting. You don't change a thing. And a year from now, you're in the exact same spot, with the same challenges, your goals feeling just as far away. Then there's Path B, the butterfly wing moment. You commit to these small daily actions for the next 3 months, and you arrive in the future as a completely different person. Someone whose potential is finally unlocked, who just achieves goals, because that's who you are.
So the only question left is for you. The choice between who you are right now and who you could be. It's all yours, and it starts with your very next smallest action. So, which path will you choose?